Hey Canucks fans, the Vancouver Canucks have defeated the big, bad, ugly Boston Bruins 3-2 in a thrilling come-from-behind overtime victory. And full disclosure, I didn't see much of this game. I was at church all afternoon for our religious education program, but I only caught the last 10 minutes of the third and the overtime. But I've watched the highlights, I've talked to my kids. I think I'm ready to go. So here's what I liked, here's what I didn't like, and here's one other thing. What I liked, of course, the victory. Most importantly, we snap a 4-game losing streak. Played okay in some of those 4 losses. Certainly not the last game though in Seattle, the one that I was there watching from the first row. But that's for another vlog. I'm so happy the Canucks broke their losing streak. I'm so happy that it was against the Boston Bruins. And I'm so happy that our best players turned out to be our best players. So number one thing that I liked about this game, the fact that the Canucks won. And that's something we haven't said for the past 5 games. Well, 4 games prior to this. I kind of alluded to it. Our best players were our best players. And yes, it was all of our all-stars that figured on the score sheet. JT Miller with 3 assists, Brock Besser with 2 goals, Elias Pettersson with an assist, Quinn Hughes with an assist. Add in a Filip Hronek goal, the game-tying goal with a minute left. Add in Nikita Zadorov assist. And only 6 players actually got on the score sheet. But like I said, 4 of them were all-stars. Demko obviously usually doesn't get points. He played well. I'll get to that in a second. And Rick Tocchet really juggled the lines. He had Miller and Besser. He kept them together, but he moved like Lindholm down to the third line. He had so Miller, Besser, and Suter. He had Lindholm centering a line with Garland and Baines, and then he kept Petey with Höglander and jumped Mikheyev up to his line. So certainly a lot of juggling in the top 3 lines as the Canucks were looking for some offense. Speaking of offense, excellent third period, out shooting the Boston Bruins 17-5. I love the way they continued to push. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't see the first 2 periods, but I'm talking to both Jacob and Sean who watched the game. They said that, yeah, Boston certainly controlled the play, kept the Canucks to the outside, and it was a good game. They said, like the Canucks, it's not like the Canucks were playing poorly. It was a battle between 2 really good teams, and even if the Canucks had lost 2-0 or 2-1, but the effort was there. I don't think, some of us would have been concerned, but I think it wouldn't be as bad because their effort was there tonight. And I'm so glad that they got rewarded. So 17 shots in the third period. Also love the way the Canucks special teams came through. Only 2 power play opportunities, but one of them, the critical one in overtime, they convert on that. So they go 1 for 2 on the power play and they kill off all 4 of the Boston Bruins power play opportunities. So many, many things I like then. We had the ending the losing streak. We had the best players being the best players. JT Miller with 3 points, Besser with 2. We had a dominant third period. We had good special teams. Also, from what I've read and what I've heard that Hronek and Zadorov had good games. I'm kind of looking at the stat sheet. I see 7 shots for Quinn Hughes, 4 shots for Filip Hronek. Also 6 hits for Noel Juleson, which is kind of crazy. And then 8 hits for JT Miller. So JT Miller's stat line is absolutely crazy. 3 assists, plus 2, 4 shots on goal, 8 hits. And I will say this, when I was there watching Vancouver play against Seattle on Thursday night, JT Miller was by far the most vocal, the guy challenging his players, affirming his players, encouraging his players, encouraging his teammates. So no surprise that JT Miller has a monster game. 8 hits, 4 shots, 3 assists, plus 2, all in 20 minutes of ice time. Okay, some things I didn't like. Well, it's very easy to point to goals against when you're coming up with things that you didn't like. So the first goal was that 2-on-1. It was a bad Hronek pinch that left a 2-on-1. That was the Boquist goal. Boquist made a nice move on Thatcher Demko. And then Danton Heinen, the local guy, always seems to score against the Vancouver Canucks. And that was more of a fluky goal on that wraparound attempt by Frederic. So you're not going to blame anyone for any of that. And aside from that, I don't know if I can complain about too much. Maybe aside from that late penalty, the Canucks only drew 1, so you want them to play a tiny bit more aggressively to try and draw more penalties on the opposition and then kind of work their power play out of the funk. But honestly, and admittedly, it's because I didn't see the game, so I can't really say much about what I didn't like because I can only go from what I see on the score sheet. Yeah, I see a couple guys with a -1, but that's because they're on the ice for at least one or not both of the Boston Bruins goals. But that second one was a bit of a fluke, like I said. So I can't really sit here and say too much about what I didn't like about this game, aside from the fact that maybe the Canucks didn't look that dangerous, throughout the first 40 minutes or so. But I would love to I'd love to know. This is where I need your help. Let me know in the comments some things that you didn't like. By the way, I meant to mention Thatcher Demko in what I liked. He had a rough outing in Seattle. I saw it with my own eyes on Thursday night. So it was great that he came back with a really, really strong outing. I know only 22 shots, but he saved 20 of them. And maybe the only one that you want back is that first one where he kind of got deked. But like I said, that second one, not his fault. So another strong performance by Thatcher Demko. Another thing that I liked. Okay, guys, one other thing, and this has nothing to do with this game, actually. It's very serious, and I'm sure you've seen it a little bit. I have a very dear friend, Marie Huey, who I do a lot of parody songs with, and more importantly, she's just a really good friend of our families for about 20 years. Her partner, Chris, they have 2 kids. They were in Hong Kong. They were traveling Asia. And unfortunately, Christopher suffered a bout with flesh-eating disease, and it happened so fast that they didn't have time to fly him back to Canada. So they had to operate on him basically to save his life, and they amputated his leg, his right leg from his thigh down. So I'm going to put a link to the GoFundMe in the description. I would love it if you would consider supporting my dear friend Marie, my dear friend Christopher, and their family, because yes, they have travel insurance, but it's going to be a complete change of lifestyle for Christopher, who's a firefighter, who's like, I got quoted in an article in Vancouver Sun. He's the healthiest guy I knew. He ate well, he lifted, he ran, he did everything. Firefighter, like I said, and this is going to change their lives forever. And it kind of even makes me kind of embarrassed that I was complaining so much, a little bit, about my ruptured Achilles tendon. That at least is healing, and I'm getting better. But Christopher's life, and by extension Marie and their kids' lives are going to be changed forever going forward. So if you want to read more about it, I'll put it in the description, like I said, the link to their GoFundMe. And if you feel like donating to them, I would really ask that you prayerfully or thoughtfully consider doing so. I appreciate you letting me share that with you. So what I liked, losing streak snapped. Besser and Miller had a monster game. Demko, third period, special teams, all those things. What I didn't like, well, I guess the fact that we were down 2-0, and I had to push back, but I can't really say much because I didn't watch the game. I'm going to watch it on replay. And then one other thing, please consider supporting Marie and Christopher. I appreciate that very much. So it's a Saturday, no stream tonight, but I will do my goal recap video. And then I have for members, I have a Ask Me Anything post up on my discussion board. Would love for you to leave me a question there. And then for Hall of Fame and Legends, we have our monthly Zoom chat tomorrow night, Sunday night at 8:30. I've sent the link on our community tab. And finally, for everyone else, I'm streaming tomorrow night at 11 p.m., regular Sunday night, 11 p.m. We'll talk about this game. We'll talk about Seattle experience and hopefully some other things as well. So I hope you join me tomorrow night. All right, friends. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Perform, Transform, Personal Training, Weight Loss. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovelander, legendary Andrew Chang for your support, and to Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. And thanks to all of you for watching, for liking, and subscribing. On your way out, make sure you subscribed, make sure you like the video, and you can leave a donation, you can become a member, upgrade your own membership, and definitely leave a comment. Tell me what you liked, especially tell me what you didn't like. Help me out here. Help a brother out, HBO, and tell me one other thing. And don't forget to check out that GoFundMe link in the description. Okay, friends, stay safe, stay healthy. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.